Oh, you're climbing back up. Keep climbing.
All right, folks. Gonna get going shortly here. Make sure you smash that like button. Drop your questions in the chat. Consider subscribing. Might be worth it for you. And if you're not watching this live, put it in like 1.25x or 1.5x. Save yourself some time, folks. Time is too valuable. Got to get that information in and on the go. Let's go. Just going to get a couple things sorted here and we'll get going in about 1 minute. Let's go. Where are you from? What do you know? All right. We're back. Should we get rolling? Get rolling?
I think we should.
Roll the intro. Hey, folks. Welcome back to Surely Sound Studio. My name's Martin. You can call me Marnie. This is my show. So let's go. What do you know? We got AK here with us today. What's happening, brother?
No, nothing much. Sitting around.
Hanging out on
a sore back,
day.
you know.
Oh, yeah.
Enjoying life.
Sore back. Do what we can, though. Do what we can. Unfortunately, we weren't educated early enough, and we had to work hard and hurt ourselves before we found out that there's another way.
That's right. Well, that's what we're doing now. Doing yoga on a regular basis. Trying to stay fit. Yeah, that's my new job.
Doing push-ups and stuff like that. Keeping her tight and strong. Doing what we can, Stay alive. Stay fresh. Stay limber. Keep up with the kids, But that's ultimately, right. Oh man, yeah,
it's
definitely was a little rough on my body in the 20s. And folks, you felt the same. You think you're like, what is going on? I'm sick of playing this game. There's another way. I will provide you the name. So let's get going. Today, folks, we are going to talk about Bitcoin, of course, but also we're going to talk about this hack that happened with the cold card seed phrase generation thing, and also going to go over some of the signs that this is kind of exactly what we were expecting to happen. Perfect timing. Fox News is talking about Bitcoin being probably, you don't want it. It's hacking. People are hacking it. You just don't want it. Yeah, we're gonna go USDT dominance and SPX. Check out this traditional stock market and see what's happening. But first, let's start off with Bitcoin on the daily time frame. All right. Because where is Bitcoin going to go? It just got hacked, right? Everyone's going to sell all their Bitcoin on, well, Monday's a holiday here. I don't know if it's a holiday in the States.
I don't think it is.
Probably not, considering it is BC Day in BC.
Well, right? I also think it's like Alberta Day in Alberta.
Okay, right.
I think it's
a
one
patriotic
of those
day.
Days.
Patriotic Day. Obviously, they have July 4th for their Patriotic Day, but maybe they have certain states that have certain days. But anyways, whether it's a holiday or not, it doesn't really matter because Bitcoin runs 24/7. Traditional stock market, however, and Wall Street do have a lot of pull and push when it comes to Bitcoin nowadays. But we also have the Clarity Act still on edge. Is it going to pass? Are they going to take recess and we're not going to see it for another couple weeks? What's going to happen? Well, or also, what's going on with the Strait of Hormuz? Trump said it's open. Iran said it's closed. Same shit, different day, I guess, hey? Again, folks, you have to understand that this is all market manipulation. Everything that you ever see in the news, controlled by the people who control the narrative, it's all market manipulation. Every single thing they do is manipulating you to make you buy high and sell low so that they can do the opposite. Okay? And once you understand that, it's all good. It's like you play the game. Don't hate the player, hate the game. I hate the game, but I'm going to take advantage of it because I understand how it works. So that being said, what's going to happen with Bitcoin? What's going to happen with this hack? Well, I'd say there's likely two things that could possibly happen. One, Bitcoin's going to go up. Two, Bitcoin's going to go down. All right, folks, have a good day.
Yeah, watch Bitcoin stay flat.
It'll do both of those things. It'll do both those things. But okay, so honestly though, technical analysis, all jokes aside here, folks. This yellow line is our high volume node, our POC, our point of control, our area where the most volume is traded, agreed upon, exchanged in the last 2 months. Let's see, June, there you go, June 1st, July, and so June and July. This has been the price that people have agreed on. And when it comes up here, it's a little too expensive, it gets sold off. When it comes down here, it gets bought up. It's cheap. So we are just getting stuck under our POC. Like, again, we were talking about this. Every single time we go through these sideways ranges, we talk about this exact same thing. Getting stuck under the POC and then continuing lower. When we were up at the top here, I believe it was right here. And I was telling everybody we're gonna go under 100K. We got stuck under the POC. We could not make it back up above it, and lower prices and lower prices. Money flow was coming out. We were in the green, it was coming out. RSI was coming out. We already had a massive bearish divergence on the daily. So that was calling for lower prices. Now let's see what's kind of different this time. It's not exactly the same because you have to remember we've already come down over 50% from our all-time high. Now in a traditional market cycle, that's good. Potentially not the bottom, but that's still good. You're still like, DCA bot should be, if you believe in Bitcoin and if you liked Bitcoin at $80,000, $90,000, $100,000, then you love Bitcoin at $60,000, right?
No, they're selling it at 50,000. They loved it at 100 and we're buying it, but now they got to get rid of it.
Well, it's because they're not subscribed to Surely Sound Studio. If they were subscribed to this channel, then they would not be getting taken advantage of. I'd be able to help them. But I mean, ultimately, yeah, it's just crazy. You gotta. Anyways, we're different here because look we're in the red, and we're actually coming up. So this is bullish on the daily time frame here. This looks to me like this is bullish. Not only that, we're also, my trade setup for scalping on the 15-minute is playing out on the daily here as breaking above this 200 smooth and moving average through the RSI, bouncing and holding, or coming down and holding as support, and now moving up, which to me likely means that this continues to break up higher to break this high, as long as we hold this line here. So let's go down to, I believe I have, yeah, so this is marked on the daily. What we don't want to see is a rejection from the POC, because that's basically what I'm seeing right now. If we get a rejection from the POC, this is just one tiny little green wave, and we cannot break above this, then we're coming back down to the green line. Plain and simple. Potentially even lower. There's a lot of liquidity residing in here. A lot of liquidity. All in here. All in here. All in here. Starting to get swept. So on a structure basis, we are now in a downtrend. The uptrend broke, and we are now in a downtrend. So that's what we're kind of gonna watch out for, because if this downtrend continues, that would be us getting stuck right under this POC and continuing the downtrend. For us to do what we are hoping for, if you're looking for a long, is you could long down in here if you want to and have your stop loss below here. That would be a valid trade because we have money flow coming up. You have to understand though that likely something like this is what I would assume is going to happen on Monday or Tuesday or some point this week. The cold card news affects people. I mean, it hasn't really had much of an effect. This is kind of the day it happened here was Friday. Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So we kind of already had a breakdown, a reaction, I guess you could call it, from that issue, and kind of held support here, and now are coming up. It is the weekend, so there's not a lot. Anybody that's like exposed to Bitcoin through ETFs hasn't been able to do anything unless the traditional market's open. So there could be a lot of orders that are sitting there pending, waiting for markets to open, and then that could very well be a large, what would be a rejection from the POC, and then maybe come down. But we're going to watch that dump, because if that dump gets eaten right back up and we close above this line here, that is a perfect liquidity sweep of all these stops in here, which would likely be followed by a bing bong, and then a bing bong, and then you look for another bing bong here for higher prices. So this is a scenario I'd be looking for a long position. For a short position, you're looking for, basically, that's going to be it. If you're going to be short, you're going to want to be short somewhere in here, and you're not going to want it to get too much higher than this. So you could very well have a stop loss above here, somewhere in here, whatever you're willing to risk, not financial advice. But that would be a totally fine structural trade. The trend is your friend until the end. Once the trend breaks, you don't want to be in that trade no more. So what are you willing to risk? Personally, I'm going to stay patient. I wasn't a short. I shorted the breakdown to here, and actually I closed most of it, but just got stopped out of the rest of it on this recent little pump that we just had. That probably I should have added to the short, probably. Instead, this happens to me often, where I move my stop to profit just to guarantee the trade win, but then I should have had that as my add to the short, because yes, look it was right there. Right here is where I got stopped out in profit from my trade. So far it's looking like the market got me on that one, but I took it for a little bit before it got me, so it's okay. It was a winning trade, not a big deal. But to sum it up a little bit more here, daily time frame still could have a week for that money flow to sort of play out in a bullish manner. Could still be some time. Shorter term here, if we go on to let's just go to the 8 hour here. 8 hour money flow trending down as long as this high doesn't get broken right here. So something to watch, as that could be an indicator of where Bitcoin wants to go. Why aren't you deleting? Okay. That's how you're going to be, eh? That line apparently wants to stay there. So that's what's going to happen now, because they won't let me get rid of that line. So now it is published in the matrix, apparently. And so you can expect to see that in the next coming days, because that's how this show works. I draw a line, it usually follows it. Usually it lets me get rid of the line, though. But that's a shame. But that would make sense, because a daily time frame would come up. When you're in a bear market, you tend to spend, on the higher time frames, you tend to spend a long time in the red and just a little bit of time in the green. See, a long time in the red. That's a fair bit in the green there, but a long time in the red, a little bit in the green. And opposite on the bull markets. When we're in a bull market, this is the top here. You spend a lot of time in the green and only a little bit of time in the red. A lot of time in the green, only a little bit of time in the red. See? So now in a bear market, we're expecting the opposite. A little bit in the green, a little bit in the red. So this could be a tiny little guy in the green, and I honestly that would line up with the pretty much everything. I'm not getting overly bullish just yet, especially with this weekly time frame. This weekly time frames looks. I mean, we got bullish divergence. Don't get me wrong. But even last cycle, we had bullish divergence before the FTX collapse, and then there was the FTX collapse, which pushed us down like another 14 or 20% or something like that. So, I mean, I was calling for 42K back in November. The longer, I don't really, actually, let's go back to this chart here. I don't really care about price. I'm thinking about time, and this isn't the one I want.
Yeah, because you need to know when to buy.
Yeah.
If you want to capitalize the best on it, when's the best time to buy? Like, right, you can be putting cash away for the months and then do one big buy, or you can DCA if you like. But
yeah, if you pay attention to the charts and the cycles, though, that's really like, I'm not DCAing over 100K last cycle. Like, that's insane to me. Like, I know, we know, we've been around long enough. We know that we're coming back down to at least 60K. Like, I knew we were coming back down to at least 60K. And I DCA'd when we dropped into the 80s. I was like, oh, sure. Like, we were at 120,000. And then on the day where we dropped 14% in one day, I'm like, I'll buy this. That's okay with me, right? But it's one DCA. So I've literally only DCA'd like maybe 6 times, like once a month, basically, since, and not even once a month, just on the big white candles or big red candles or big down candles, whatever you want to say, right? Like,
yeah. Well,
but
and then there's me. I've honestly, I buy Bitcoin probably like almost every other week, and it's not a lot, but I mean, I just definitely buy at least once a month, just because it's almost become a habit at this point.
That's the way to do
I've done it for years. It's just accumulation, and whatever. If I got a little bit of extra money, I'll throw it into Bitcoin.
Well, yeah, that's the long-term game that's going to outperform for sure, no doubt about it. You're going to have more Bitcoin because you spent more time buying it, and ultimately, it's it's always going to be at some point going to turn around and be back in the profit, because they're just going to keep printing money. So all assets will go up. But basically for me is like this line that we drew on here at the top is, obviously it's deviated from it a couple times, and it's come right back onto it several times here. And we're pretty much right on it again here right now. And it's kind of showing already what I talked about, being there one more sweep of a low, and then having sort of this, but this is all the way till October this year. So these are weekly candles. And we've talked about the big green, little red, little green, big red, right? So we could very well see a big red here. And this big red wave could be all the way down here and start to trend up before the price actually trends up. So you see big wave, and I say big wave, you might be expecting us to come like way down here. That very well could happen. But the thing is that if you see the price, the money flow out like that, but the price kind of just does liquidity sweeps and stays sideways, that means that money that's flowing out is flowing into somebody else's pocket. So people are selling scared, but other people are willing to buy it up. So that's kind of what you want to see, is that money is coming out of it, but it's getting soaked up. So it's not just going into USDT or going into US dollars. It's changing hands is what's happening. And so that's exactly what they want. That's the whole plan. It's been the same plan every single cycle. We had FTX collapse in the last one. You had Mt. Gox in one of the ones before. It's like, it's all, and we're having, every global crash starts with South Korea. It sounds ridiculous, but here we go, right? Like, it starts with over leveraged greed. It doesn't matter where it starts. It's about why it starts is over leverage. And we've never had more availability to leverage with our phones than we do now. Like, even when it comes to sports gambling, when it comes to trading on apps, like, apps just make everything so readily available. Of course, there's going to be the most greed exposure we've ever had, right? So that's why potentially, there could be there could still be a large flush out. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if we come down into the 40Ks and we drop straight below 50K. That I wouldn't be surprised at all. We're gonna see how long we last down there. But ultimately, like, we're almost through this bear market one way or another. Whether we have another low or we just go sideways, it's almost over. We got another 100 days or so of price action like this, and it's funny too, because it's like that works perfectly with the cycle, but also it's going to work psychologically, because what's happening right now is the traditional stock market is losing traction. Different companies or different countries and their index funds are losing traction. They're losing buyers, right? Because the whole thing's a Ponzi scheme. And as long as people are still buying, it will still keep running. But people are running out of extra dry powder, and it's been a year. It's only been a year, and people are running out of dry powder. I wonder, did I post it? There was also this 24-year-old kid lost, where was it on here? That's what the bulls, you get the horns. It's like he over leveraged. He didn't even really have that much leverage, but he had so much money that I think he lost $46 billion in a couple days of a bunch of other people's money because he was doing so well that a lot of people gave him their money, and he lost it all in a matter of days after being up multiple billions of dollars. He lost $46 billion, 24 years old. So it's like this is the kind of stuff that is exactly what happens towards the bottom of our free market cycles, right? Our free markets, where we live during these, we are people that over leverage themselves get lined up to get wrecked, and then once they do get wrecked, they end up being the bottom. It ends up being very well near the bottom. So all this stuff that's happening right now with South Korea, with Bitcoin being hacked, with the quantum computing threat, which by the way is so funny. I believe they're talking about how the quantum computing thing could be 2030, and it's like, well, we're gonna be.
Oh yeah.
We're gonna be.
That's not going to happen.
Oh man, they've been saying that for years, right? It's just another headline on Fox News to try and get people to sell their Bitcoin, right?
Well,
but
it's also distract you, and it's to distract you from where the money is coming from to go to Bitcoin. It's so much more than just Bitcoin has never been hacked, and it hasn't. People's wallets got hacked, right?
Yeah, exactly.
The actual transfer of the Bitcoin was still proof that it works.
Well, the funny thing is too, is everything that got hacked was these people just hacked the wallets and then sent the Bitcoin to themselves. So everything was tracked. They know exactly what happened. They know exactly where the Bitcoin went, right?
Yeah.
So it's like,
which you can't do with cash or your bank, right?
Yeah.
So at least you know where it went, but maybe next time be a little smarter and don't keep your seed phrases on online accounts and things like that, because I'll guarantee you that's what quantum computing's doing it.
Yeah, exactly. That's how it's going to hack your seed phrase. And the thing is that these wallets, they're supposed to be cold storage, but then you link them to the internet one way or another. That's not cold storage. Cold storage is offline, not connected to the internet, no backup,
no nothing. It's got to be just you plug it into a USB and that's when it has power. Not, I can turn it on remotely.
No,
well, if you can do that, you can be hacked.
Exactly. That's not cold storage. That's that's hot wallets. That's called a hot wallet. And so you need to understand,
own your Bitcoin, right?
But you have to also understand too, like, this is the Wild West here. Bitcoin is not even 20 years old. Like, we're still figuring this stuff out. The people that are fighting through this hardship of a time, of this inception, this whatever you want to call it right now, those are the people that are going to come out on top, right? And you got to think about the value that is clear to some people to go through this much work to try and hack, right? Like, they're not going to try and hack you for your garbage.
Why are they trying to hack it? Think about that.
Yeah, exactly. There's value to be had. There's value to be hacked, right? Nobody would care if it was worthless. Nobody would care, right? Nobody's hacking XRP. Nobody cares.
Oh,
there's only one Bitcoin.
Nobody's hacking any other crypto. All your other cryptos are a scam, but somehow everybody wants to hack Bitcoin.
Yeah, Bitcoin is for billionaires. You do the math. You figure out what you want to be. But the value is being able to move large amounts of money instantaneously with no fee or third party, right? Like, that's where the true value is. If you're somebody who needs and deals with multiple millions of dollars on a regular basis and you need to send it worldwide, global trade, one of the things that is the biggest entity in our world these days, you got to think about how valuable something like Bitcoin is to them. Like, okay, it's not. Bitcoin is not
valuable just to the everyday person.
It is.
Right? Like,
it is.
People don't understand.
But we're already almost too late, and to the point where people with all the money are accumulating all the Bitcoin because they're like, oh shit, like, I need all of this, right?
Yeah, which kind of sucks, because if the everyday person would finally just understand and buy it, like, it would. Within a year,
it was our chance.
The entire globe would just be insanely different.
It was our chance for true decentralization globally. But of course, the people that are trying to maintain control are smart and do a lot of research, and they are paying attention and they know what they have to do. They tried to stop it. They couldn't stop it. So now the next best thing they can do is buy it all. That's the only way they can maintain control.
there's our positive outlook. Thank God for quantum computing hacking wallets, so that way we can hack them and get the Bitcoin
so
back.
You know what though? This is another thing that I've found kind of weird. Of all these reported attacks, I haven't seen any one person on X or any one person on social media claim that they got hacked. And so,
right, yeah.
So this is
so
the kind of the weird
their
thing.
Own wallets and testing it basically.
Well, I think potentially, yeah. Like for a lot of these wallets could be, you know, like
Their
developer wallets that just they don't use or they use for different things. Like it's really not that much. $89 million. That's not a lot of money in Bitcoin terms. Like we watched that.
That's not enough.
It's not a lot of money at all, right? So like it seems to me, I find it quite suspicious that a lot of people are talking about this cold card wallet hack, but no one person, at least, and I'm pretty like algorithmically attached to that.
See it somewhere.
Well,
Somebody would be complaining that losing 10 Bitcoin at this point is losing, $600,000 almost. Like it's not, I just lost,
Yeah, right. I should be seeing individuals complaining about this, not just headlines of this happened, right? You're talking about what did it say? 4,000, almost 5,000 different wallets. You'd think that
not one person complains.
Yeah, right. So it's just, again, it just kind of seems like the old bottom of the bear market type smoke and mirrors to try and scare people out as much as they can. Yeah, like $38 million and 3,500
$60,000 for Bitcoin is pretty damn cheap right now.
It
let's
is,
be honest.
right?
I've been buying it pretty aggressively with what cash I have.
And how many people are like falling for this stuff now? I feel like less and less people, especially because when it comes to the environment itself, is most of the time people get scared out for whatever reason. They're like, screw this, I'm never coming back, and they don't. And then it's not till maybe a cycle or two after where they maybe come back in, and then they don't get fooled again, right? Because they're like, I saw what happened last time. I sold last time. I'm not going to make that same mistake again, right? Sure, maybe some people get
back in. A lot of them are still just like, I've talked to a lot of people who are like, I had it back in this time and we lost money, so we don't like it. And it's like, have you ever actually looked into it or understood it? No. I just wanted to try to get rich quick.
Yeah, and that's all they cared about. They didn't care about the technology. They didn't care about the change that it could possibly have on humanity as a whole, because we've never had anything like it, and it's definitely by far the best technological advance we've ever had. But just like
closed-minded, right? They just want to take care of themselves very quickly. They're not thinking about.
They're thinking they're living on a fiat standard.
Yeah.
They're trying to use Bitcoin.
Fiat is everyone for themselves, basically.
They're trying to use.
You're not helping each other on that.
Exactly.
System.
They're trying to use Bitcoin to enhance their fiat standard, which makes no sense. But that's how we're taught to think. Right? Get money.
I'm off the fiat standard, trying to get everybody else on a Bitcoin standard. So it's like, hey man, I'd just rather swap you Bitcoin.
Yeah. Play Monopoly with your kids, and also play Monopoly, because I feel like a lot of people these days don't play Monopoly. I never did play Monopoly as kids. It's like, imagine just going around the board collecting $200 every time you pass go and not ever buying any properties. Right,
dude. Honestly, even chess, hey, look over here. While I'm screwing around over here, I'm really setting something up over here to do something. Like, it makes you. Oh, maybe you're not telling me the truth. Maybe things aren't what they appear to be.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely very, very potential. So, short term here. Damn, shouldn't have closed the short, but away she goes. Traditional stock market, S&P, still in this wedge here. Looking not great, actually. Looking really not good at all. S&P, if you see an SFP here on the SPX, SP500, that is a very clear top signal. A fake out and then a stuck back under, short it to freaking down here. So I don't know, man. I feel like the end is near of this bear market, and the beginning of the panic is just upon us here, potentially in the coming days.
Seeing Bitcoin rise from here on out to the end of the year would be quite.
Well,
that'd be a bit of a change.
Bitcoin
right?
started going down.
Another dump somewhere here.
Bitcoin started going down in November 25. Traditional stock market went down a little bit, but then continued to go sideways pretty much before one more dump for taxes and then went up, whereas Bitcoin continued to go down. So they lost correlation that they had for about 2.5 years. They were pretty correlated. So that's how traders make money, especially if you're like, okay, this is AI stock. This is what the AI speculation is what this all is. But basically watching to see if AI is going to go any further or not in the near term. Are we going to be able to sustain this bubble, or is it going to have to decompress for a bit? And if it decompresses for a bit, well, that money is going to go somewhere. And
it's going to be going into Bitcoin.
Most likely, people will be putting into Bitcoin, because Bitcoin is pretty much the gold standard, especially if you're using it to trade. You're having a digital value that you want to keep track of for your portfolio online one way or another. Bitcoin is pretty much the gold, the base, the thing, the standard, the roots, what you want to be, having your feet set in, and you deploy and gamble with little bits of it just to try and make money here and there. But ultimately, that's your home base is Bitcoin. So when people start to get a little bit too crazy with the AI thing, and if it does actually get, it's simply unsustainable, right? Because people over leveraging themselves and then they get margin called. That's what leads to these big flush outs. And like I said, that money is going to have to go somewhere. So capital rotation is likely to go into the strongest asset, which would be Bitcoin. But of course, according to the news, it's not the strongest asset. So you're not going to want to get Bitcoin, but that's what they're going to do, right? So.
Yeah, no, just all these companies now have it as their literal funds, and their entire companies are based off Bitcoin.
Yeah.
But we were just hyping Bitcoin up about 6 months ago too.
Yeah.
Like not too long ago, they were, Bitcoin's amazing, Bitcoin's great. And now they're telling you again, if you just do your research in the history of what the news tells you about Bitcoin versus what it's doing at the time, you're going to see a very, very clear pattern.
And look at this on the daily right here. USDT dominance getting stuck under the 200, smooth moving RSI with money flow coming out into the red. Also, this RSI is pretty much topped out. Last time it was topped out was the top. Last time it was topped out here was the top. So RSI making a equal high here, price nowhere near, money flow coming out. This is basically what we can expect to flow back into Bitcoin. So honestly, yeah, it's kind of like Bitcoin's looking a little bullish here, folks. Not gonna lie. If I were to not get stopped out of that short position right there, I would be looking to take profits in this area here. So that's kind of probably what I'm going to expect to, where I'm going to expect to look for a long position. We already have money flow into the green, coming up into the green on the hourly. Maybe we come down and see one more short little red wave here. I don't know about this. It's potential. Watch out for that though. If we come up here and we get rejected, that's going to be it. That's going to be okay. Next leg down. Yeah. But the thing is that once we start to see the waterfall effect across markets, across traditional, all that type of stuff, Bitcoin's going to be the first to recover, and it'll be the fastest to recover because it's the most liquid. So you just watch.
Yeah, it tends to go up if everything else is going down.
Well, you just watch. Like it's the one that people who've been around the longest want. Every single time these financial advisors come up with their portfolio recommendation, every year it's like, at first it's like, oh yeah, maybe try 1% Bitcoin, and then next year it's like, we think 2% Bitcoin's safe. Oh, actually no, 4% Bitcoin. It's like they're just, they're obviously trying to fill their bags too before they advise people about it, right? Think about it. As a financial advisor, you're only going to advise people to buy things you already own. Like, come on, folks.
I was telling people to buy Bitcoin before I owned it and experienced it and went through it. I tell everybody, the moment you buy it, you're probably going to see yourself always go down. It's very rare you're going to buy Bitcoin and watch it just continue to shoot up. You're going to go up and down, and then accumulate.
Yeah. Yeah, but the thing is over the long term, the amazing thing about it too is you have the blockchain, so you can go back and look at every transaction you've ever made, and it's very very valuable after been doing it for 5 or 6 years, because if You can go back and you can take a calculator and tally up all the inputs and be like, oh wow, look at, we made $5.
Well, just looking at what I bought Bitcoin before, like I've bought in Bitcoin everywhere from, the 30,000 up to the 112. I was still buying it when it was at the top, DCAing, just not a lot, right? Okay, I'll DCA $10 because I know it's coming down, right? I want to continue to buy Bitcoin because
we understand Bitcoin. The technology. And it doesn't really matter, right? Like in 10 years from now, which is the reason why, one of the reasons why I'm doing this, of course, for my kids, if they ever need to have some financial advice. This is not financial advice, but what I'm going to look forward to is watching these casts in 10 years and being like, oh, wow, we were just like laughing at Bitcoin at 63K, right? And it's going to be in 10 years, it's going to be over 500,000, potentially 1 million. Because nothing's happening with the fiat standard. Nothing's changing there. They're just raising the debt ceiling. They're printing more money. The compound interest is going to have to continue to get paid, and so they're going to have to print the difference to do so. Because they don't make anywhere near enough money, and even if they did, they spend it in the wrong places anyways. The system isn't meant to be fixed or work. It's meant to be broken. They love it that way. It's a lot more profitable when things are broken. It's profits over people, and that's just kind of how. They've been doing it, and as long as you play that game, they're not going to change because they don't care. They are making money off of all the mistakes that are happening, and all the roads that have to get done twice, and all the bridges that have to get built again, and all that type of stuff. Like, you have to understand, like, it's profits over people with everything. The government is the largest insider trading desk that's ever existed. They're there to manipulate markets and make money off of it. They're not there to help you. They haven't been for a long time. Also, we have technology, so why is the government still even a thing? We don't need anybody to represent ourselves. We can represent ourselves instantly from the palm of your hand, right? Like, you guys got to give yourself a head of shake. Technology will ultimately flush them out. AI understands it. Have a conversation with them and understand why the government was implemented in the first place, and understand like the reasons that we don't need it anymore. Okay, and efficiency is not what they're after. AI is for efficiency, and so one way or another, white collar jobs are going.
Well, and do you know how easy it would be to get a community back? So here's the thing: every single house is registered for water with the city. Mm-hmm. So when you go and you do that, you sign up, you get your email, everything, your bills and all that. Well, what the city should also be doing is sending out emails for everything that they vote on, everything that they're changing in the city, and send it directly to you and just vote that way.
Yeah.
Because honestly, nobody's informed on anything on what's going on. They just do things and people react to it now.
What should be by law is that there should be not even an email. It should be more like Reddit, where you have up votes and down votes. And the things that people are qualified for, of course, just like any other decentralized platform, Uber, and you have a rating. You will be rated like that. This is one of the most necessary things with decentralization, as people who participate need to be rated. If you have a poor rating because you were sus, because you're not playing by the rules, you're manipulating, like, then you don't get to have as much say. The people who are honest and the people who are doing and providing the value, they get to have more say. So it's not about who's most popular, who can get the most votes because I'm the coolest and I can make the most controversy. It's about Hollywood. The person who provides the most value, right? So the rating process, right? All the better Uber drivers get picked first. All the better whatever. I don't mean, like, think about all the decentralized. It's something like Reddit, where upvotes and downvotes and ratings count for everything. And so it should be by law, any company that's doing anything that has clients has to have a platform, blockchain-based platform, where every single client, any participant, can be part of it, can be involved in it, and can be rated on rated on what they bring to the table. And then their rating allows them to participate in certain tiers of voting and decision making. And basically, that's true decentralization. That's true democracy. Not what we live in today. Clearly not what we live in today.
Nobody knows anything. Like I said, the community just reacts to whatever the city council wants to do. Nobody's at those meetings doing anything or knowing what's going on.
I wouldn't say nobody. There's probably like 6 or 7 people. Some people, you know what I mean? Like, there is a small minority of people who are informed, and they go say and they stand up and they do these things. But
But
nobody ever
nobody
hears
there
about
to
it.
back them up, right?
No,
If they
exactly.
had the community there with them, it
exactly.
would be a whole
But
lot
because
easier.
nobody knows about it, because this is happening in real life, in front of a podium, in front of a few, like I said, a panel of people or whatever, and it's not happening online. So guess where everybody is? Online. So, but if you had, if you had
an online platform that for this specific thing, things could be a lot better, and everybody would be a lot happier if they were more informed on
Instead of just complaining on Facebook about something, we could be you could actually be
platform is
a deciding factor, right? And if it's an up and down vote type thing, well then obviously it's not gonna be like people would think, oh, it's just if the majority of, like, most people think, oh, if it gets 51% of the votes, it's happening. It's like, no, that's not how Reddit works. It's not how things like that work. It gets up votes and down votes. The more up votes it gets, the more attention it gets, right? The more down votes it gets, the more attention it gets, but in a different way, or to put it in a different place. Okay, so if people aren't voting on it at all, then it's probably not an issue. Okay, but the attention comes from people voting on it and people talking about it. You can also have comments on it and talk about everything you're doing. But the thing is, I mean, the technology is there, but I understand that every single company would then need a IT guy to be supplying all this for every single business. That would be part of every single business, which would be, I don't know, maybe a good career opportunity, good entrepreneurial investment.
The whole work system needs to be restructured anyways, right? Because it's structured for the fiat capital as like kind of the continued growth, and there is no more continued growth. We can't keep doing that. So there's got to be a restructure of something.
Sustainability is what's should be on our radar now, because we're the whole positive GDP thing is just ridiculous. Oh no, we're not creating anything. So well, let's import as many people as we can to make it look like we're growing. You guys,
like that doesn't make any sense.
Makes it worse.
Every place needs to be able to contribute something globally and manufacture and do something that creates jobs for the people there, not bring people in just to make it look like your country's growing.
And then use your local tax dollars to pay for these people to come here, just so that their housing market doesn't collapse.
Let
it collapse.
Fiat doesn't work.
It needs to collapse. Young people can't afford homes because the boomers are storing their value in as many houses as they could soak up, right?
That's because that's what their generation was taught, that whole Ponzi scheme.
Well, they had no other choice. They didn't have Bitcoin.
No, well, I know, right? It was a different time, different era. That's where they need to get their value.
And that's what they were forced to do. But I don't know. I didn't want to bring this one too long because it is a long weekend here. And
yes, it is.
How you feeling? You're up for some GT or what?
Oh man, I'm gonna go be hopping in a hot shower here and laying down. It's been a day.
All right, sounds good. No big deal.
What are you doing tomorrow though? Maybe
if you're feeling up for it, give me a shout.
Yeah, man. Mornings usually work best for me there. I got enough energy to get out.
Cool. The wife's at Sunfest, so she'll be back in the afternoon, but we'll be out. We'll be around we did all our running around this morning, so should be up to not too much, but I'll give you a shout here in a bit, and we'll figure out what to do for tomorrow.
Yeah, man, sounds good.
Sounds good. Unless you have anything else to add
on Bitcoin here, and
unless you
have see a nice little spike.
You got anything else to add? Anything else you want to talk about?
No, I think that's pretty much it. I mean, like I said, I'm hoping to see Bitcoin go up, but I think we might have topped out there as the charts are showing. So,
and the VIX hasn't had a spike in a while, so it could be due. Oh wow, look at the VIX. Crazy.
You're right.
It's trending like it wants to get volatile.
Yeah, that's what I'm worried. I need to keep my eye on it. So
yeah, when the VIX goes up, that's usually good buying opportunities because those are the big dumps. And we're making this little triangle here where it's consolidating, and it's weird too because we're literally going through a war, and the VIX is just like consolidating below 20, below 22, below 21. And currently sitting right now at 16. It's crazy.
Things are different.
Well, that's proof that everything is to manipulate markets. And the more that they do it, and because they're doing it more often and often now, people are just becoming more desensitized to it. So it's not affecting anybody anymore. And people are like, oh yeah, Trump, whatever. Okay, buddy. That's what you said last week. Right? Yeah. Like people are starting to figure it out, I think. Anyways, I don't know. Some people still eat it up.
I think they're just so tired of being fed the same crap over and over and over for like, I mean, man, at this point it's been nearly 10 years.
Oh yeah. It's pretty ridiculous. What's the Dixie looking like? Ooh, Dixie's holding support here and looks like it's going to come. Oh, well, no, not quite. Maybe he's just breaking. Ooh, it's just losing support. Losing support. Money flow up into the red though. Or in the red, going up into the green. Holding. Dollar looks bullish on the weekly. Okay, that makes sense. Dollar looks bullish on the weekly, but potentially bearish on the daily. So maybe, yeah, that makes a lot of sense in correlation to the opposite of Bitcoin, looking bearish on the weekly, but potentially bullish on the daily. And so
yeah, I think we'll go up, spike one. There's a lot of liquidity to the top here.
I haven't even looked at the heat map.
There's a lot of liquidity to the bottom as well. That's why I'm just thinking go up for a quick sweep and come back down.
Yeah, best case scenario is we go down for a quick sweep and then we start moving up.
But I'm still thinking bear market, right?
Yeah.
So.
Oh yeah, lots of liquidity up here at 64.2, 64.150.
That's why I kind of want to watch it. I got my stop, or I got my get me out of the trade at 64.9. So I mean, if that 64.1 or 2 is kind of going to be our limit. I mean, we could go up a little more, but
zoom out and see. Yeah, the beginning of the week typically just attacks weekend liquidity, and which is, yeah, there's really not too much more above us, but there's lots below us. Yeah, could see one little sweep up into short into 62K, and then yeah.
But it's at 62. That's kind of the bottom, right? That's the hard part.
I'm gonna keep an eye on this.
You just keep adding to the long, or
I'm gonna keep an eye on this downtrend that we have going here, because once we break out of this downtrend, and actually let's go to the 4 hour and see likely where we bottom out here. If we do hold this low, then we'd want to see some sort of reaction, a strong reaction at about 61K. Whoa, excuse me. Into like 60K here. 618, 786. Nice little gap in here too. A little inefficiency right under that line. Don't be surprised if you see a bounce directly at the 618 here. We already have a perfect tap of it right there. This is kind of one of the cool things I like to do. I'll show you in reverse here. If you were to take the fib and try and figure out where this is gonna go, go down here and pull it. Say let's say right about there. So 786 already is tapped here, and then golden pocket is tapped here. Likely could put this move down, bottoming out around 60K. Like, so if you imagine right under these lows here, it's just kind of like just a prediction, but using the fib in a different way. Instead of retracing, you're trying to figure out where it's going to go. But in confluence with this 786 retracement, that's got so that would be a 786 retracement and then you'd be taking the fib looking for a 786 retracement. So it's confluence is what they call it. When things seem to line up, you have multiple areas of liquidity and or strong levels that are coincide with each other. You know, you don't want to take a trade off of one sign or two signs. You know, you want to have as many signs in your direction as possible to up your chances of the trade being successful. But ultimately, I think we've broken this downtrend, or this uptrend has broken to the downside clearly, and we're now below the 200 here as resistance. Short term, I see lower prices, but medium to long term, potentially higher prices before lower prices again, and then higher prices again after that. Ultimately, it's not going to really matter though whether it's 60K or 50K or even 40K in a few years when we're at over 200K. You won't really matter. So If you're not really worried about trading and you're just looking for a long-term store of value, well, so far Bitcoin's been the best performing. Do your own research. This is not financial advice. Nothing I say to do should be taken as financial advice. But you could definitely do your own research. You can get a TradingView account. You can go on tradingview.com. You can look at all the charts. You don't need to wait for the news to tell you what's happened. You can look at the charts and see what's happening as it happens. And prepare yourself for the future. Right, folks? Anything else?
No, I think that's it. And then,
sounds like a good one.
I'll give you a shout here in a bit and maybe head on over there tomorrow.
Sounds good, man. All right, have a good night. Ease up.
All right.
And for all you folks out there in internet land, peace out. I wish you well. I wish you wealth. Have a good one. Find a way to raise your frequency. I recommend putting your opinions aside and learning how to think logically.